Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
Israel has expressed disappointment regarding any international movement towards recognizing Hamas. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Foreign Minister Mahmoud al-Zahar has confirmed that he has scheduled a visit to China. This news came after al-Zahar met with Mr. Yang Walk-gong, China's envoy to the Palestinian Authority in Gaza. Mr. Gong confirmed that his country respects democracy and the choice of the Palestinian people.
بأن العلاقات الصينية والفلسطينية تطورت في السنوات الأخيرة.
We have noticed that Palestinian-Chinese relations have improved significantly over the past few years. Both sides exert tremendous efforts in this regard. The Chinese government respects the democratic choice of the Palestinian people. We congratulate Palestinians for the success of the democratic process. The Chinese government is committed to the peace process in the Middle East. It encourages all parties to exert positive efforts and take constructive steps in order to achieve lasting peace in the region. The Chinese people and government will do their best to achieve this goal.
وهذا ما ستفعله الصين حكومة وشعبا في تحقيق هذا الهدف.
The occupation carried out a random attack in the northern Gaza Strip. There were a number of Palestinian casualties. One person was martyred and others were injured. The occupation planes targeted the presidential Palestinian airfield near the office of the Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas, in Gaza. The occupation authorities also closed the Mintar crossing, creating yet another catastrophe in the lives of the Palestinians.
The escalation in Zionist aggression comes in the form of what the occupation authorities dubbed the Southern Arrow, which includes a number of attacks against the Palestinians using air, land, and sea weapons to bomb the northern Gaza Strip. A Palestinian home was damaged and a number of people were martyred and injured.
4 people were injured, including a child of only 4 months who is suffering from painful bruises. The rest of the injured, including a woman named Samah Ahmed Abu Shams, have shrapnel lodged in various parts of their bodies.
The Zionist aggression, which was represented by the attack of the presidential airfield on the coast of Gaza, which was previously destroyed and which is only a few meters away from the office of the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, sent a new message to the Palestinians. The Ansar complex, which was destroyed by the occupation planes in the early years of the Al-Aqsa Intifada, remains the headquarters for some Palestinian security agencies, which were relocated immediately after the start of the Zionist attack on the complex.
The Israeli attack aims at continuing the escalation against the Palestinian people. The attack also targeted government sites, sending a message to the Palestinian government. We, as the Palestinian people, confirm that we are not bothered by this Israeli message. We demand that the Israeli occupation stop this policy of aggression. The world should intervene to stop these war crimes and Israeli terrorism, which, if continues, will not bring anything to the occupation except death and destruction.
In a surprise move, the occupation authorities closed the Mintar crossing in the eastern Gaza Strip, which represents the main artery for the transport of food and medicine, as well as most of life's basic necessities to the residents of the Strip. The closing has had catastrophic effects on the economy of the Palestinian people.
The crossing is closed to all Palestinian goods. If this situation continues for 1 month, then we will be destroyed, all of us, the workers and the economy of this land. In all of Gaza, not just in my factory, in all of Gaza, the crossings are closed to Palestinian goods.
Capital has been sent to neighboring countries because of the closures. This resulted in the closing of many factories and plants. Therefore, the Karni crossing point, which is the main artery for the Palestinian economy, is used as a pressure point for any security, political, or military problem that arises. For any reason whatsoever, the Karni crossing point is used as a way to pressure the Palestinian people.
The Zionist aggression, which is now manifested in the closing of border crossings, sends horrifying signs which reflect negatively on the economy and every detail of Palestinian life. This makes the overall situation so volatile that it may explode once again.
Well, a dramatic development in coalition building. Early this afternoon, Acting Prime Minister Ehud Olmert held a joint press conference with Labour leader Amir Peretz, signalling Labour's entry into an Olmert-led government. IBA's Dan Diker has just returned from the Prime Minister's office. Dan, what's the latest?
Yes, Leah. Well, today's press conference caught everyone off guard. It turns out that behind the insults and accusations between Kadima and Labour over the past 48 hours, senior officials from both parties were in secret contact with one another, working out conditions for Labour's entry into Olmert's government. Acting Prime Minister Olmert announced together with Labour Chairman Peretz that the two party leaders will soon begin talks towards forming a coalition government in which, Olmert said, Labour would be a senior partner. Olmert and Peretz also confirmed reports that they have, in fact, been in direct contact over the past 2 days. For his part, Labour Chairman Peretz said that in order to speed up the process of coalition building, he'll ask President Moshe Katsav to name Olmert to form the next government. Neither Olmert nor Peretz mentioned one of the key issues yet to be resolved, which cabinet portfolio will be offered to Peretz. I should mention that today's press conference took place even though President Moshe Katsav has not yet called on Ehud Olmert formally to form the next government. Last week, Olmert told members of Kadima that in order for Labour to enter the coalition, he'd have to offer them either the finance ministry or the defense portfolio. Today, senior Labour sources are saying that they believe Peretz may agree to become defense minister in exchange for certain promises on the government's economic and social policies. Peretz's prestige has been badly battered over the last 2 days, following media reports that he was ready to set up a coalition with right-wing parties such as the National Union, NRP, and the Likud. But today's announcements by Olmert and Peretz made clear that the Labour leader has put behind him any possible side-door coalitions he might lead. Both Kadima and Labour are saying that they hope to finalize coalition negotiations shortly after the Passover holiday.
The Iraqi court, hearing the trial of the ousted president Saddam Hussein, said today that the charge of genocide of the Kurds in the 1980s will be filed in a new court. On another topic, the Iraqi President Jalal Talabani has joined forces with those who hint at the possibility of turning to the parliament if the process of forming the government takes longer than 2 weeks. While debates over the candidacy of Ibrahim Jafari are ongoing, 21 people were killed in various violent attacks. While the tug of war over the candidacy of Ibrahim Jafari as head of the future government continues, leaders of political parties are about to start debates over how to share sensitive political positions, including the presidency, prime ministry, and speaker of the parliament. The Iraqi Prime Minister Jalal Talabani, whose mandate is ending, confirmed that negotiations over the formation of the government will enter a quicker phase due to lots of pressure, mainly public pressure.
The negotiations are being conducted quickly. There are daily meetings. We are feeling pressure from the people, from the parties and fronts, from the region, as well as from the international community to expedite the formation of the government. I hope that it will not take longer than 2 weeks.
On another note, just before the resumption of the trial of the former President Saddam Hussein and his associates on the Dujail case, Iraqi President Jalal Talabani said that the Special Criminal Court will try Saddam and his associates on all of the charges they are accused of before handing down the final sentence. The investigation judge in the Special Criminal Court, Riyad Johi, said that Saddam Hussein and his accused associates will be tried for killing 182,000 individuals from Kurdish families in northern Iraq. The details of the case were completed and will be submitted to the criminal court for trial.
وكنتيجة لاجتماع الإجراءات التحقيقية
The investigative procedures have been completed. The accused parties are علي حسن المجيد التكريتي، صدام حسين المجيد التكريتي، سلطان هاشم أحمد، صابر عبد العزيز الدوري، حسين رفيق التكريتي، طاهر توفيق الأمة، غافر حان متوكل الجمهوري. The case will be submitted to the criminal court in the Iraqi Higher Criminal Court.
في المحكمة الجنائية العراقية العليا.
أمنيا لقي في تقديرات الأولية 7.
On the security situation, initial reports indicate that 7 Iraqis were killed and at least 25 others were injured by a booby-trapped car in the southern suburb east of Baghdad. The number of casualties that resulted from another booby-trapped car near a suburban mosque last night rose to 11 killed and 40 injured. 2 young girls were killed and 2 of their family members were injured by a blast that went off in front of their home in the suburb of Baghdad. The president of the Samara Council survived an assassination attempt on his life when a booby-trapped car that was part of his motorcade went off. 5 of his personal guards were injured. In the southern city of Basra, a policeman was killed and an officer was injured when armed assailants shot at a British patrol unit near Basra. 1 assailant was injured and another was arrested.
بغداد.
Iran test-fired a new torpedo in the Strait of Hormuz, off the coast of the Arabian Gulf. This powerful torpedo is capable of destroying warships and submarines at any water depth and speed. The test was part of a week-long military maneuver that started last Friday. Iran also test-fired radar evading and underwater missiles. U.S. Department of Defense said on Monday it is possible Iran has produced missiles capable of evading radar, but added that the Iranians have been known to boast and exaggerate.
إيران تستعرض قوتها في مياه الخليج وتوجه رسالة واضحة إلى الغرب بأن عليه التفكير 1000 مرة.
Iran flexes power in the Arabian Gulf and sent a clear message to the West, confirming that Washington should think twice before it launches an attack on Tehran. Tehran vowed that any strike against Iranian installations will not go unpunished and will not be a walk in the park.
مناورات النبي الأعظم أعلنت أنها أجرت تجربة لما وصفته بأنه أسرع صاروخ في العالم تحت الماء. هذا الصاروخ بإمكانه تفادي أجهزة الرادار وتبلغ سرعة.
The Islamic Republic of Iran on Friday started a wide-scale military exercise, which it named Maneuver of the Great Prophet. Iran has confirmed that it test-fired a new torpedo underwater, claiming that it is the fastest missile in the world. According to Iranian officials, this missile is capable of evading radar devices, and its speed reaches 100 meters per second. Iranian military experts confirm that this underwater missile, which was named Dawn 3, can outpace enemy warships and submarines. Iran will test-fire more new missiles during its week-long maneuver.
في إطار أسبوع المناورات الذي بدأته طهران بتجربة صاروخ قادر على حمل رؤوس.
Moreover, Iran test-fired a multi-warhead missile that can strike several targets simultaneously. Iranian officials confirmed that Iran will have more important announcements to make about its missile production capabilities. They added that these pronouncements will make Tehran proud in the next few days.
الولايات المتحدة وإسرائيل، هذا إن صحت تلك المعلومات. فبعض المحللين العسكريين يشكون في أن الأمر ينطوي على مبالغة من جانب إيران ومحاولة للتمويه والخداع.
Western nations, including the U.S. and Israel, have expressed concern over Iran's recent missile testing. Meanwhile, American military experts have downplayed the Iranian showdown, confirming that Tehran is trying to stir panic and distraction among Western nations in order to reduce international pressure regarding its nuclear program. Israeli military experts contended that the Iranian new missile is similar to an Alexander E Russian missile. Both missiles have similar shapes and capacity. Though Alexander E has a range of 300 kilometers, the Iranian missile only has a range of 40 kilometers. While the Iranians claimed that their new missile can strike and destroy several targets simultaneously, the Russians did not.
التشكيك الإسرائيلي لا يعني أن إسرائيل والولايات المتحدة لا تعيران أنباء تطوير إيران قدراتها العسكرية اهتماما. فخبراء الدولتين يعتقدون أنه إذا صحت المعلومات فهذا يعني أن طهران حصلت على مساعدة خارجية
The U.S. and Israel are more concerned than ever about the development of Iran's military capabilities. According to Western experts, Iran must have acquired technology and expertise from abroad. Having said that, Russia helped Iran last year by selling Tehran short-range earth-to-air missiles, which can intercept enemy rockets and warplanes flying at low altitudes. Iran also possesses Shihab-3 missiles, which have a range of 2,000 kilometers, thus putting Israel and all American military bases in the region within its range. During a recent visit to Britain, U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice confirmed that the West and Iran must resort to diplomacy in their standoff regarding the Iranian controversial nuclear files, adding that Tehran is not like Baghdad. Rice believes that Iran does not pose as much of a threat as the former Iraqi regime of Saddam Hussein did. By toppling the former Iraqi regime, the U.S. has made Tehran the dominating power in the Arabian Gulf. Iraq's military capabilities have been drained over the past 10 years. Iran's military power, which outweighs Iraq's, has been a factor for the West in choosing to exercise diplomacy and great caution while dealing with the Islamic Republic.
لدى العراق تجعل الغرب حذرا في أسلوب تعامله معها وهو ما يريده الإيرانيون.
President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad says the state officials and employees should thank God for being at the focal point of serving the nation.
In an address on Tuesday to the staff at the presidential office, the president noted that the Iranian nation, as a flag bearer of justice in today's world, shoulders a heavy responsibility to establish an exemplary, mighty, developed Islamic society. Elsewhere in his speech, President Ahmadinejad emphasized that the Islamic Republic, fully committed to the international regulations, is working to secure its inalienable right to civilian use of atomic energy, and as the past experiences have shown, the enemies can by no means undermine the Iranian nation's resolve. President Ahmadinejad went on to say the Western powers should apologize to the Iranian nation for the losses incurred due to 3 years of halt to Iran's peaceful atomic activities, not abiding by their legal undertakings, as well as imposing the 8-year war and sanctions on Iran.
Iran vows to press on with its peaceful nuclear program despite a call by the UN Security Council to suspend its activities.
Foreign Minister Manouchehr Mottaki told the press conference Tuesday Tehran started its peaceful nuclear activities to secure its rights under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and that the activities will go on under the supervision of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Mottaki dismissed as politically motivated the decision to report Iran to the UN Security Council, adding the logic of domination has gained the upper hand over reason. He stressed the U.S. has two choices in dealing with Iran's peaceful nuclear activities, the first one being through dialogue and cooperation, and the second one confrontation. Tehran definitely prefers the first choice, the top Iranian diplomat underlined. Mottaki highlighted Iran would not use oil as a weapon in its nuclear standoff with the West. He said, quote, "Energy and the security of it are important for both the producer and the consumer. The Islamic Republic is committed to its oil contracts and to supplying energy to its commercial partners," unquote.
Day 5 of a major Iranian war game, codenamed the Great Prophet on the Persian Gulf waters, was a success in testing two highly sophisticated land-to-air Misak and land-to-sea Kosar missiles.
Misak missile, mass-produced by the Defense Ministry, has a high maneuver capability in a vast array of military speedboats to be used by the IRGC and the Army. Kosar land-to-sea missile, on the other hand, hitting medium and short-range targets, is equipped with the most advanced system, which no other device can deviate it from its track. Iran's extraordinary advances in the field of military equipment has also been displayed by successfully testing the domestically made super-modern flying boats on the Persian Gulf territorial waters. Matchless maneuverability, high velocity, radar evading capability of its hull, and the ability to fly at high altitudes are among the features of the indigenous fast boat, which can launch missiles with highly precise targeting while on the move.
Iranian medical scientists achieved a major breakthrough in clinical studies by using stem cell research. They were able to find cures for some of the debilitating diseases such as infertility.
حالة مرضية كانت مستعصية ويعد علاجها مستحيلا في السابق ولكن بفضل
Many debilitating diseases which were incurable in the past can now be treated by stem cell thanks to modern technology in Iran. Iranian doctors use stem cell to cure 4 blind people. Those patients regained their vision completely. Doctors also treated 20 patients who experienced massive heart attacks. Stem cells, which are bone marrow and embryonic cells, reproduce heart, blood, brain, and spinal cells. They are used to treat debilitating diseases such as cancer, brain tumors, bone marrow transplants, infertility, heart conditions, and a number of hereditary diseases. Iranian medical centers embarked on great accomplishments in their clinical and laboratory studies. They made lots of successful studies and experiments on mice. They took out grafts of mice's bone marrow and treated them with stem cells.
الخلايا الجذعية.
We have cured 4 blind patients and 20 others who experienced heart attacks. In Esfahan, our medical team made a number of successful achievements. They took out debilitated skin cells and planted stem cells underneath the skin.
ما تقدم كان يتعلق باستحصال الخلايا الجذعية من البالغين.
In Iran, most doctors extracted stem cells from bone marrow. However, there is another kind that is gaining momentum in the country. They are embryonic stem cells. Doctors have used embryonic stem cells in laboratories to conduct medical studies and experiments. They also use them for cloning purposes. They cloned a number of sheep, and the first cloned one will be born in a few days. Iranian doctors also use stem cells to treat and cure infertility. Nearly 40% infertile patients have been treated by stem cells. This is a big percentage considering the number of cases treated in state-of-the-art medical centers around the world. Iran has become a center for treating patients with reproductive problems in the region. 2 decades ago, patients with fertility problems used to seek medical attention in countries that are advanced in the medical field.
إلى الدول المتقدمة في مجال الطب.
According to the 2004 issue of the Human Reproduction magazine, the percentage of infertility patients treated by stem cells in Europe in 2000 was only 16.6%. This explains why many Iranian patients living in the US and Europe and several others in neighboring countries seek treatment in Iran.
This scientific and medical progress in the field of stem cells was not achieved overnight. It took many years of diligent hard work, and much more accomplishments are still to come.
NATO has accepted a UN request to consider extending support for an African Union mission in Darfur, as well as for a possible UN mission which could succeed. The 7,000-strong African Union peacekeeping mission, which was deployed in 2004, has suffered from poor funding and inadequate resources to contain bloodshed there. NATO already provides training and logistical support for the AU mission. Currently, the training part was due to finish by the end of March, while airlift support by the 26-nation alliance was due to end by May the 31st. The United States has been lobbying for a new UN-led force backed by NATO to take over peacekeeping. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, has ruled out the possibility of sending troops from the alliance to the strife-torn region. An estimated 11 million East Africans facing drought-induced famine will not survive without urgent food relief. A spokesman for the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization said it is real crisis. He added that meteorologists have predicted that the region's short rainy season in May may not see enough of a downpour to break the drought. The famine was severest in Somalia, but efforts to reach victims there were complicated by the lawlessness in the country that has had no government since 1991. The drought, the seventh to ravage the region since 1975, also threatens people in Djibouti, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Kenya. Kenyan President Mwai Kibaki said last week that 5 million of his people faced food shortages. The UN Stop humanitarian official Jan Egeland called earlier at the Bonn conference on the world's 8th most industrialized nations to speed up aid to Africa to alleviate the food shortages. Officials said the donor community has responded to the crisis, but aid has not been sufficient and has not reached desperate rural populations.
It was only 3 years ago that the average Iraqi was, for the first time, able to watch satellite dish television. Satellite dishes were banned in Iraqi households during the former regime of Saddam Hussein. The majority of Iraqis now own satellite dish televisions, enabling them to receive a variety of their favorite programs. Libra Sahib reports.
Despite its popularity worldwide, satellite dish networks became available in Iraq just 3 years ago, bringing with them a large variety of social and cultural programs as well as documentaries. Many Iraqi households now prefer satellite dishes for their entertainment needs, causing the prices of the systems and their installations to go up.
After the collapse of the former Iraqi regime, Iraq opened up to the world. People can now purchase satellite dishes. Demands and prices of satellite dishes skyrocketed. We, as satellite dealers, ran out of dishes and receivers. We have to order more stocks from our suppliers from all over the world, including China and Korea. Iraq is a big country with 25 million people. Therefore, we have to order large quantities of stocks to accommodate high demand.
We sell some satellite dishes for 50 and others for 120. The ones that sell for 120 have hard drives that you can record on. The ones that sell for 40 or 50 are somewhat similar.
Satellite dish companies intensified their marketing campaign to lure customers away from terrestrial and censor television networks. Satellite TV viewers can use special codes to override censored channels and programs. It also provides viewers with more channels and programs than the terrestrial and censored television.
Satellite dish networks provide various educational programs.
I watch news channels and foreign and Arabic programs over the satellite dish.
I get to watch my favorite programs, including foreign and Arabic documentaries.
I like to watch news and cartoon shows over the satellite dish.
I like to watch my favorite songs.
I like to watch the news and sports.
Some Iraqis have expressed concern over satellite dishes due to the lack of censorship. They demanded officials to regulate some of the satellite channels and programs.
رائع جدا يعني بس هل الرائع هذا يصح بس البيئات موجودة يعني بالرغم من
These satellite dish networks are fantastic. They provide us with the technology and a wide range of various programs and channels. However, we must monitor some of these unrated channels and programs. Satellite dish networks have some negative and positive consequences. They should apply parental control for these channels in order to protect viewers.
يشترط أن يكون هناك كنترول يعني هناك أكو تنسيق لازم لأنه حتى يحمون الناس.
There is a variety of programs shown over satellite TV, making it difficult for families to watch certain shows together. Some Iraqis decided to devote certain times to regular family shows.
The views expressed on Mosaic are not those of Link TV or its sponsors, but of the broadcasters themselves. Mosaic is made possible by a grant from the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, which promotes journalism excellence worldwide and invests in the vitality of 26 U.S. communities, and the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation. Additional support is provided by the Firedoll Foundation and Henry and Virgilia Dakin. This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. For a transcript of this program, to watch streaming video, or for instructions on how to receive Link TV in the United States, visit linktv.org.